Now then, and welcome back to another episode of Forever Stranded. Stranded with Nemsun. I have a slight apology to make. I say a slight apology. You can't really have a slight apology, can you? That's just not fair. It's either a full apology or it's no apology. It's a full apology. I apologise. I apologise. Okay, I apologise. I have had a couple of bad days where I haven't put up with any videos. I haven't put any videos up for a couple of days. It actually worked out that it was a good thing to start with. I had some new RAM delivered that I'd bought online, and it had arrived, and it was a full maxed out capacity of my computer. My motherboard can't take any more RAM at any greater speed than 32 gig. So it's all max speed RAM on my computer now, which I'm really, really pleased about. So as soon as it arrived, I installed it. And as soon as I installed it, everything died. And it wouldn't work. And it took me about 3 or 4 hours and a friend of mine who knows about computers and stuff to come round and have a few coffees and figure out what it was that was wrong with my computer. And then the next day, after that ordeal, we got it working and it was awesome. But the next day, after that ordeal, I tried to record. This was yesterday. I recorded an episode of Forever Stranded. I recorded a few episodes of a new series that's coming out soon on the channel. Spoiler alert. And I also then, when I found out afterwards that my mic had its settings reset, I was very annoyed to find out that those 3 episodes that I recorded had not recorded any mic whatsoever. Oh, my days, it's YouTuber first world problems, I tell you. YouTuber first world problems. But it's all fixed now, and I'm getting back into it. That did mean that I did an episode already, and so I'll quickly show you stuff that I've done. It wasn't really that much, to be honest, right? First of all, I showed this off, which is the updated version of what we were doing in the last episode you saw, okay? So this explains a little bit more of Applied Energistics. Applied Energistics level emitters and toggle buses working in conjunction like this with a system in order to turn off sections of itself. So this section here is supposed to sieve soul sand in order to make nether quartz, nether wart, and gas tiers, right? But when I've got enough quartz, when I've got the quartz over here, let's put some quartz over here. When I've got a lot of quartz in here, yeah, I've got 10 stacks in here at the minute. Can I access that? I can't see. I got 10 stacks in there at the minute, right? That's quite a lot. So I don't need this constantly processing. I don't need the processing to happen in the background. I don't need this to go. So we limited this to 1 stack of soul sand using the drawers limiter with the flint limiting thing, limited to 1 stack. And then this is set so that it would export soul sand and iron mesh and then import all the goodies, right? So up here I've got it set. The level emitter will not emit a redstone signal when, so it emits a signal when levels are below the limit. So I've got more than 200 nether quartz in my system right now, so it won't emit a redstone signal, so it won't turn on the system. If my level of nether quartz drops in my storage below 200, it will emit a level emitter signal to this toggle bus. This toggle bus will then turn on because it's receiving a redstone signal, and that will mean that this section will be on, and that means that this export bus will start working, and this import bus will start working as well. Okay? So when I've set that up now so that when I use quartz, it will automatically replace using this system, right? And this will just carry on being a full stack of soul sand in the system as well, which is set on a storage bus that I can access from up there as well, right? Here's similar, right? We've got the access to 1 stack of netherrack over here, but because this took so much lava all the time to just continuously do it, and I don't really need a continuous, well, at least I don't think I need a continuous. I only really needed this for the titanium dust, right? The titanium dust. All the rest of it kind of gets put away and processed. So I'm working on processing all of these broken ores once they get put into the system from the import bus here. But we've got a lot of nether gravel being produced by putting the netherrack into there, then that gets storage bust. So I put that as a storage bus so that it would not take from there unless it's necessary. unless it needed to in here to get some more titanium. And this is a level emitter set to make this whole arm of the system work only if I've got less than 30 titanium dust in my system. Okay, so that's what I did to change that around to limit it and make it look a bit neater and tidier. Makes it look a lot tidier over this side of the thing. The arms of the AE system coming down over the top there, I think it looks pretty cool. I like that I can see through it all and you can see the pipe work and stuff of the factory. I really like factories where you can see what's going on and where things are travelling. Right, over here now I've done similar sort of thing. All of the advanced rocketry machines that we did have tested out all over here, I've now moved to their final resting place over here and connected them all up to yeah, like a spider of AE cables and power cables and stuff. We've got the arc furnace over here with an interface. I'll show you why the interface is in a minute. An interface onto its input hatch and an import bus on its output hatch. So anything that gets put into the output hatch, it will automatically get put into the AE system, right? And I've got a power supply up here which is connected up over here. This cable, this is only 640 RF per tick cabling. I will upgrade it later, but I just had a load of that already made up, so I just used that in the meantime. And I'm not so sure that I need more because they do have internal buffers. They do have like 10,000 internal buffer for most of these machines, so I don't think I need to worry too much about it, and I can soon transfer power across. But if I need an upgrade, I will upgrade this power cables to increase the power, right? We've got the rolling machine, which has got the power going in there. We've got an ender chest, which automatically outputs into the H2O fluid tank. We've got an import bus to pick anything out of the output hatch. We've got the rolling machine, the lathe here, which has got a interface onto the input hatch and an import bus onto the output hatch, and the power in over this side, and so on and so on. We've got an input and an output on all of the machines, basically, right? The input on all of the machines is an ME interface, and the output on all the machines is just a simple import bus. So anything that gets put into the hatch will get sucked up in the machine, sucked up into the system. Okay. What I want this section to do, right, is kind of automatically craft things for me. I want an auto crafting here, so that when I need any of these advanced rocketry ingredients or materials, I can order them to be created, and the AE system will take care of it for me. As you can see here, I've been using cable facades to cover up things over here. I actually wanted this section to be done differently. This section over here, I didn't like how it was bulking out, so I wanted to put it into the things and then send it off. I think I could probably do it across here as well, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to bother. I like to see the cables showing, so I'll show the cables around there, but I didn't want it all bulking around here. I wanted it a bit higher up, so I did that. And so I did the same over here, where it comes into the cable facade and up and out, and then joins the system. This whole system over here is not the final system either. This is just, I've been adding stuff onto it as I've needed it. It's growing and evolving, and eventually I will want it to look a little bit more neat and tidy like this section over here does. I want this section over here to look a little neater and tidier. But for right now, it's just serving purpose. Everything that I add to it is just serving another purpose. So I've got 3 crafting station storage things, so it can do kind of 3 processes at once, right? On this side, we had let's see, we had two 1K storage for it, so we've got 2K of storage, 1 monitor and 1 coprocessor, so I believe that could do two crafting processes at the same time there. And this is only single processors, as it were, so this is quite a large recipe, or a large amount of knowledge, ingredients and all that kind of stuff, so a large bulky order, so it can keep track of high numbers because it's got a 1632K crafting storage, but it can only do 1 crafting process at a time. I will be expanding these out into this section a little bit more, because this is kind of my crafting area. I want some auto crafting setups over here. I'll probably be building more auto-crafting down there, out there, and round there, and up there, and over there as well. And this can probably end up being the actual console with these monitors and things that I'll get to see everything going on. I've also got an assembler down the back here with an interface on. But anyway, there are a couple of things that we want to do in today's episode regarding automating all this. But in the last episode that I tried to record, I managed to complete the Moving Worlds quest of launch, which was creating 10 launch pads, a fueling station, and an unmanned vehicle assembler. And I got a final lifeblood crystal. I say a final, I don't know if it was the final one, but it's the final one I needed because I'm up to 10 lives now. And all of these, they took quite a while to make. The launch pads weren't too difficult. The fueling station and the unmanned vehicle assembler, there was lots of components and lots of bits and pieces that I needed to make. But I eventually got them all and got the reward of some rocket engines, advanced rocket engines. So we're going to store them away for now because I'm not using them this episode. I have done a bit of research as well. I promised in the episode that didn't have audio that I would do some research into how advanced rocketry works, and it seems like this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is really, really, really basic starting stuff, and there's a whole host, a whole factory worth of stuff still to produce, and then launch pads and data processing and so much stuff. So this is going to fill out very rapidly. But I need to cover it over a few episodes. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And right now I want to show you how the applied energistic system is working. And that covers the AE system for the majority of the time. Then we've done kind of the input and output. We've done the capacity increases and the crafting, auto-crafting into outputs. We've got some storage options and some auto-crafting bits and pieces, and how the channels and all the cabling and stuff work and interact. We've now covered the level emitters and toggle buses, and today we're going to cover the not the auto-crafting as in a molecular assembler like we've covered already for auto-crafting through putting patterns into here that get injected into the molecular assembler. That's kind of like in a way that's kind of like what we're doing today, but you use the interface on a crafting bench. It's kind of a molecular assembler is a crafting bench, and the interface tells what patterns are the crafting recipe for it to do. Whereas an interface like this on a sag mill, say, a sag mill does, you know, it makes something grind down into something else. This can do patterns like this, a Fluix dust crystal, right? Let's do one quickly now. Let's go with I don't really want this, but let's do one of these, right? We're gonna go now. We're gonna have processing pattern. There's crafting pattern, which is basically the pattern will tell the interface to craft something in a molecular assembler, and then there's a processing pattern, which will give an input and produce an output. So it will know that when that gets put through the machine, right? When that gets put through a sag mill, it will come out the other side as Certis quartz dust, right? So we then put some Certis quartz dust in there. Not 64 though. We're just going to need one. So we are telling the system that to make or to craft a Certis quartz dust, which I doubt I'm ever going to need to do, but I'm making it anyway for practice, for showing you. Then you put one crystal into the machine that's attached, whatever it is. In this case it's showing a furnace. Whatever machine's attached to the interface will then produce a Certis quartz dust and send. And then when I put that into there, it will tell this interface to send items into this sag mill if it wants the corresponding output of items. And I've also got the sag mill set up so that it pulls and pushes all the slots in and out to the interface side. So the interface pushes items in, the crystals and the dust will then get pushed back out, and it will go, job completed, I've given you crystal dust, thank you very much. But the one that we would show in there was the Fluix, Fluixes. Oh man, I didn't want crafting recipe, I want this, there we go. The Fluix crystals into Fluix dust. Now Fluix dust is kind of important, I use quite a bit of it, but I don't really want to grind down all of the Fluix crystals, because Fluix crystals take a little while to actually make as well. They you have to pop them into a water and grow them and that kind of stuff. It doesn't take long to grow them, admittedly, but it's a faff to have to do stuff. So I want to be able to craft them as I need them. So let's say I needed 10. I go next. It will automatically find a processor, and then it will set this running look. It will put 10 crystals in there, and when it's done 10 dust, it will have finished its process, and it will be happy that it has auto-crafted 10 dust for me. And the 10 dust will more immediately appear in this area here, look. 9 and 10, and then it'll stop its job. Right, I'll put the 11 in there now, but it'll stop its job, and it's finished. It's done. It's done that crafting for me. So I don't need to go to that machine and put the things in. It will automatically do it for me. Also, if part of a future crafting recipe, let's say I tell it how to craft something that needs that dust, and I tell it how to use a crafting table to craft the dust, so it inputs that into a molecular assembler, it can automatically craft the dust to be able to craft the item that I want it to craft. So it knows, oh, we haven't got any dust, I'll quickly make a dust because I know how to make that, and then I'll use the dust in the crafting recipe, blah de blah de blah. It's great, it's awesome, I love it. But these things all need setting up. Now, there are a few bits and pieces in there. I've got plenty of blank patterns now, which is good. The boule, as in a boulevard, thank you very much, people. The boule, right? I want to see how to make boule and all that kind of stuff again. So, to make boule, we use this. We need a crystallizer. We need a silicon ingot and a silicon nugget in a crystallizer to make a boule. How do we make the silicon ingots? We can make the silicon ingots in the arc furnace. So 1 sand equals 1 silicon ingot in the arc furnace. So there's the first thing to do, right? Do I have a silicon ingot? Yes, I do. Okay, so the output is going to be 1 silicon ingot, okay? And the input is going to be 1 sand. Do I have no sand in here? I do have sand in here, that's good. Let's put 1 sand. So I'll put 1 sand in, and I should receive a silicon ingot out. And that's the pattern, that's the recipe that I need over here in this setup. So the input over here, that is the input. Yeah, that's the input hatch. If I put this recipe in, it's telling the interface that it now knows to put sand into the arc furnace in order to get silicon ingots out. Right? So we've got that. Then I would want to turn the silicon ingot into a crafting recipe. So I'll put a silicon ingot in there, and I end up with 9 silicon nuggets out. I need it to know that now. So I need this crafting system over here, the crafting bench, to know how to make the nuggets, right? And then we've got these 2 things put together to make a boule, which is this in the crystallizer. So one of those, we've got to do it in a processing pattern. One of those plus one of those equals one of those in a process. It processes those into those, okay? Like so. And that goes in the crystallizer. So now the crystallizer is over here, so we can put that into here like so. Crystallizer pattern to make the boule, okay? Now there's another thing here where we've got the cutting machine and we put the silicon boule into the input hatch and it cuts it and then puts the 4 silicon wafers in the output hatch, and then the AE system will take those 4 in. So we need to set a pattern up for that as well. So we're going to go with getting rid of all that stuff. Let's see, can I have a boule? Oh, I don't have any boule. Let's craft 2 boule. Okay, start. It will now set that system in motion down there to set a boule up, and we should end up with a boule over here. Boule. There we go, we've got 2 boule. Good. And we want to set this up so that it does silicon wafers now. So silicon, it's going to make 4 silicon wafers in that process, right? So one of those through the machine makes 4 silicon of that. I'm going to take all this out actually. Right, so then this one will have this pattern in, which tells it how to make the silicon wafers. Right? So, we should, in theory, be able to order up some wafers. It's a long way around, but when I need a wafer, I need a wafer. I'm keeping 19 in my hand right now, and the silicon in there. So we're going to craft, let's say we craft 10, 11, 12. So 3 processes. Next. It's got 3 silicon available, 3 silicon nuggets available, and then it will craft 3 boule. Right? It says to craft boule. And then that will, the 3 boule will get used to craft 12 wafers. Okay? Start. So now we should have this working over here, right? We've got the crystallizer crystallizing automatically, the wafers being cut from the boule automatically, and the boule is being cut up and goes into the output. And all of that processing is being done because I asked it to do it through a few simple mechanics over here. It's now putting everything into the AE system that I need. Excellent, isn't it? I love it. I love the auto crafting processing and stuff like that. And once you've got like basic setup of things, you can just keep adding crafting recipes, because I don't know what else this can do, but that has got 9 different patterns on that one interface. So the 9 different things that this could potentially do, I don't know. We'll find out if there's anything else it needs doing. It doesn't need me to do anything else, and it should be the same sort of thing over here with the rolling machine and that, right? So we've got several rolling patterns that we need. So let's see about plates now. So we've done the silicon thing. Let's see about rods. Actually, we've got rod. We've got these advanced rocketry rods, right? So we've got titanium rod. We want to do it in a lathe, which will be this 1 titanium aluminide with equals 2 rods. Okay, so titanium 1 titanium that equals 2 of these rods. Okay, so we'll make that pattern. So now it knows how to do that. I believe there's something similar here with this. We do 1 of those, and that will make, I think I need to put this through the rolling machine at least once just to get the stuff out. So we've got input hatch that goes in, that powers on. Power on. There we go. Power on. The automation of everything. The factory is being automated from one simple control center. I really like. So that again goes into there, and they disappear off into the system over here. And that should now be in here. Titanium. There we go. So that made 2 rods. So we put the 2 rods in there. That also equals pattern. Okay. So now we've got pattern for each of those types of rods. Right, there is also, well, there is also an iron rod, I thought, but maybe I don't need it very often. I don't know. There's also plates as well, right? So actually, let's do that. Titanium plates. This one here, I think it only takes 1 at a time. We can do iron as well. Save a little bit of time doing that. We can put that in, and but the iron plate's there. I could probably do it in a crafting recipe, but let's do it this way. Steel was another one. Steel. I need to do lots and lots of steel, don't I? From that one. There we go. That's steel, which is that steel rod as well, which needs a steel plate as well. Okay, we've got all this now. That steel ingot is the same one there. Okay, so we got one steel ingot equals 2 steel rods. That's the other one that we need to work out, so that goes into there. And then we've got each of these in the rolling machine. I really like the rolling machine. The rolling machine is awesome for stuff. Let's just put these away first. So in the input hatch here, we're going to put that, and that. So it does all the automatic for that for me. I think this one's on this side because I turned it round because it looked nicer that way around. This is going to be, if I put something in, let's put one of those in. One of those in. Did it put anything in? There it is, now it's in. Put one of those in, put one of those in, and put one of those in. And these should all output. Show me. Does it take 2? Maybe it takes 2. No, it's done them. It's done them. They're through. Okay, so plates should be in here now. Plates. Yeah, there we go. We've got one of each. So each plate is now made. That's these ones down here. Those ones we're not worried about just yet. These ones over here, we go. We've got the steel plate, which is 1 for 1. The titanium plate, we want 1 for 1. The iron plate, which is 1 for 1. Okay, so we've got one of those from one iron. So we can tell it that system. Yeah, we can tell the pattern to that one. It's really that simple, people. It's really that simple. And I love it. It's a brilliant system for just setting things up. It takes a little while to set everything up, admittedly. It takes a little while. And sometimes you can miss something that you actually wanted it to know. But the majority of the time, you can set things up cautiously like this. And you can have almost everything auto-craftable within your setup and system over here. And I like that. Let's put that, and that in. Okay, so those are now in their setup. So now, if I get onto here properly, if I ask for advanced rocketry stuff, right? All of this stuff should be in there. The plates and everything should be in there, but it's not showing up. Let's see if I can change that. Plate. Here we go. So now iron plates, for instance. Right? An iron plate. Craft an iron plate. I could tell it to craft me 10 iron plates. It will automatically now start the processing of 10 iron plates going into there. And already it's started to come out. Look, it's already processing. 3 and so on. So I can auto-craft almost everything in this factory. I really like how it works. Look, the ingot goes across and then squashes it down and out the other side. It's pretty quick as well, isn't it? It's a pretty quick process. That's going to be quite useful if I do any industrial craft as well. The industrial craft may end up being something I need to do in here. But yeah, I think that's covering almost everything auto-crafting wise today, guys. I think I've covered enough. I think it's time for me to say goodbye for another episode. So thank you all very, very much for watching today's episode. I'm so sorry you've missed a couple of episodes over the course of the week. I had computer issues. Now things are running smoothly and everything should be working properly. I should get back to some regular content. Forever Stranded, I've still got a lot of advanced rocketry to do. Lots and lots and lots of advanced rocketry to do. And a few more bits of advanced applied energistics to cover as well. So please tune in for some more of that very soon. And I've got a few new series ideas to come up with. So I will be bringing out some new episodes. I hope to get your support on those as well. I hope you enjoy the new episodes. I will see you in those and more Stranded with Nemsun. Goodbye.